Alrighty, so it's been 2 weeks. We have our 6 gallons of wine that's been fermenting for 2 weeks. So we're going to take this, and the directions say filter it right into your glass carboy, then go to the next step. I'm going to use a plastic bucket, and I'll tell you why. Because I think it's easier to stir using a drill and a paint stir. Now, you can use the carboy stir that they sell, but it's a lot harder. Plus, you got to fit all those chemicals down in the little neck of the carboy. It's easier to do in here, so we're going to do our mixing in this bucket, then we're going to strain it into the carboy. So, first thing we're going to do is get this opened up. A lot of water gets trapped on the top here, so we're just going to let the water drain off into our bucket. Then we're going to filter this off using the auto siphon. Now notice it has a little cup on the bottom. That's so that we can keep all the sediment on the bottom, because we want to leave the sediment in here, filter all the clear wine off. So let's get this going. So we're going to hook up our hose here and just push it basically right onto this auto siphon. I'm going to get the end of the hose back down into our bucket here, and then I put this in gently because I don't want to stir up what's in the bottom, the sediment. So the auto siphon's real nice because just a pump or two and we're siphoning wine. And then I hold it real nice and just kind of set it there gently because I don't want to stir up the sediment that's on the bottom here. And we're just going to let that empty and we'll be right back. Okay, this is actually the stabilizing and degassing phase. We have to add chemicals today. We're going to add sulfite, sorbate. It says directly into the carboy. We use the bucket, and we're going to add some Kiesel's salt. So after we add those to the bucket, it says take a spoon, and this is why we're using a drill. Take a spoon and stir and agitate to degas for 2 to 4 minutes, intermittently for 10 minutes. That's a lot of stirring. I'd rather use a drill. So let's get these chemicals added here and we'll get to stirring. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is add the sulfite slash sorbate. It says add it directly in. Now these are new instructions because it used to tell you that you dissolve this in about 8 ounces of water and then pour it in, and the next step, which is tomorrow, we add chitosan. That used to be added at this stage. So apparently they want you to wait a day in between now. So the next thing we're going to add here is a Kiesel's salt, and it's a liquid. So we're just gonna pour it in. Try to get all the contents out of the pouch. Now see what it did? It almost leaves a greasy film on top, but you won't see that after we stir this in. So let's mix vigorously for 2 to 4 minutes. Intermittently for 10. Now the directions say change directions many times, but we do that with, like I said, a paint stir really agitates this stuff up, so I think we're going to be alright degassing. I hold the drill on a medium speed constantly just to keep it moving and then move it around, because I put it on full, but then I'm going to have wine spilled all over the place. Okay, so I think we have enough stirring here. You'll notice it's all foamy. That's because this is the degassing stage, and basically we want to get all those bubbles, as many of them, out of there as possible. So that's why I use a paint stir. It does do a better job of agitating. Since we have to add one more stage tomorrow, we have to add the chitosan. I'm going to leave it in the bucket overnight so that we can mix in this bucket tomorrow. Then, after we've added the last chemical, the chitosan basically clears the wine, makes all the sediment drop to the bottom, makes it a little crystal clear. Now, adding the chitosan tomorrow is not as important for me because that actually clears the wine. I'm going to use a filter to filter this wine. That gets all the sediment out anyways, but we still use the chitosan to clear as much of the sediment as possible. It does help the filter work a little better. So, be back tomorrow and we'll get the last chemical in here. Get it in the carboy, 2 more weeks, and we're ready to filter and bottle some wine.